Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Friday's edition of our pre-market prep. Hey, Rick Kaufman here, and we are, well, let's just say we made it to Friday. What started off as a really bad, gloomy, dark outlook on the week finished where the indexes finished in positive territory for the week, but we are getting a little bit of a pullback here this morning. Not a lot as far as in a sense of not like what we saw on Friday of last week and Monday, or even Tuesday for that matter. But we are getting a little bit of a sell-off nonetheless. I actually figured, because we finished so high on the day yesterday, and we got some selling towards the last 10 minutes of the day in the cash session, that I thought maybe this is just what I would assume is just profit taking on the week. With the markets being up so much the last 2 days, people just taking profits. It's a Friday, so the markets may be under a little pressure, and the VIX kind of spiked up here to about 20 here overnight. But doesn't this look like a really nice cup and handle? Boom, there's the cup, there's the handle. So could this be that we might be going, the VIX may be popping here today, going above 20? This is kind of like our price level. We really want to stay below 20 on the VIX, and even better yet, below 18. But nonetheless, hey, well, let's go ahead and get into today's session here. We're going to talk a little bit about how I journal my trades and how I track what I do on a day-to-day basis. So, and we'll do that through our use of pre-market prep. So with that being said, let's get into some housekeeping. I'm not a financial advisor, nor just do not give out anything that I would suggest that you make this trade or anything like that. You pick your own picks, you pick your own entries, you pick your own exits. I do not give trade recommendations from that standpoint, and nothing that I talk about in my videos here should be misconstrued as any recommendation to make a trade, buy a security option, or sell any securities or options. At the end of the day, I really don't know what the markets are going to do. Pre-market prep, I believe, is the most important point or time in the market. It is 5:40 here in the morning, and the markets are doing battle here this morning. And the futures go all night long, and so last night the futures opened up in the green, not a lot, but they opened up green, and somewheres overnight they turned red for some reason. Could be the overseas markets, could be a lot of things that could have caused them to go red or a little bit bearish on the day. But get your coffee and pause this video if you have to, and let's get into this here. Oh, also make sure you click the like button, the subscribe, and so you don't miss another episode. And we have a long laundry list of videos that we're going to start putting together too, so on just different things, trading related, that is. So anyways, so here's what I see on this Friday. And before we do, I mentioned that, we're going to kind of, if you've got a question as how I should journal, how should I journal my trading day, or how should I journal my trades? I've talked about this before, and I'm going to share with you a little bit. I use PowerPoint. I use a PowerPoint, and also on my workspace here, on my workspace right here, I use Google Keep, and I take screenshots. I put in notes, trade plan for the day. I put this in here. This also posts, and I can pull this up on my cell phone. So this way, I kind of have basic on the journal. What I have going on is in that space, but I put this in my PowerPoint presentation. My videos are part of my trade journal. My videos are part of my trade journey, and it's part of my education. Okay. I happen to record these so I can have a link for future reference and come back from this video. I put this down into a pre-market trade journal. So when I do that, I'll come in here, and as you can see here, here's yesterday's trade journal, 9/23. Long-term trend in the markets is still intact. The daily needs to get above the daily 21 and the 50 and hold those levels as support. The VIX has dropped below 20, but is still flirting with that 20 line, where it dropped below 20 yesterday. We are back at it and flirting at 1962. So looking for the VIX to continue to drop. That's what I would like to see happen. And we got that. However, the government shutdown is looming next week, and we could see a shutdown. So this could bring in more fear to the markets. So in other words, we're not out of the woods yet. And this part of my pre-market prep and part of my trade journal is to keep some of these things foremost in my mind. So number one, it helps me with emotions. It helps me with FOMO. It helps me with, whatever else I've got going on. And just like I said here in number 5, keep that in mind going forward. And if we can break and close above the daily 21 and 50, we could see some more downside in these markets, as seasonality of the year may still play an important part to our trading today and for the next month. And there's the link to the video yesterday. So part of the recording these videos and going through this is it helps me determine my pre-market prep. And this really becomes part of my trade plan for the day, how I want to view the markets and how I'm going to react to the markets. The biggest thing here is the VIX dropping and the close above the 21 and 50. So when we take a look at, here's the S&P. This white line right here is the 21. Okay. So when we turn around and let's look at that real quick. And so when we look at that on the charts, and we're going to come over here to the daily chart. So here's the ES here. Okay. Here's the 20, the white line is the 21. Okay. And we closed right at the 21. Okay. And the purple line is the 55, or the 50 would be just above that. So we closed at the 21 and above the 21. And part of what I was thinking is we could see this, then there's a chance that we could go higher, but at the same time, there's a chance that we might see a little bit of pullback because of the seasonality of the season. Okay. And if the volume drops and we see lower volume, as you can see here on Wednesday, when we got this big spike up here on Wednesday, we had a nice green candle. And what do we see here? Even though the candle is, if you measured the candle, the width of the body, this candle looks bigger, or actually bigger than this one. The body of it is, about the same, but, we don't see a bottom wick, which means this was a very bullish, extremely bullish candle, but it was on lower volume, which would indicate that we might see a pullback. We closed at the 21, above the 50, but we got this candle coming back here today. So this could be an inside day, and that's what I would like to see. If we, nothing to really break down to structure, and this could really start a consolidation pattern in this, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So we'll be keeping an eye on this. So, so when I look at my trade journal, and this is the importance of doing pre-market prep and putting together your trade journal, is it allows me to get a snapshot. Okay. Then from this part of my trade journal, when I do my pre-market and I put a snapshot, I have a picture of of my chart of my charting, main page here on my trade page of the four indexes, along with, my ticks in the VIX to kind of show this. So I get a snapshot of what things look like in the morning. Okay. Then I have to paint the picture as the day goes on. So how I do that is I come in here and this is 923 cash session play by play. So I try to, the first half hour, I try to make a couple entries, and then maybe every hour, every 2-3 hours, I make an entry. But, the market opened in the first 15 minutes with the VIX down to 1879 and the ticks have stayed above 600. And I just got filled for a profit of $275 on my credit, which is 75% of the profit target. The first hour of the cash session is looking strong and holding up. The ticks have only dipped below zero line for a minute. They have been staying above plus 400. The VIX is dropping and is currently at 1865. Walmart is up 50 cents and Home Depot's up $1.80, both just off the high of day. And then I put below is a screenshot. This is the P&L as of that particular moment in time, showing, my three positions. My SPX trade, I actually have two different SPX credit spreads, but one closed. We took a 75% profit on that spread. We were only in that spread. That was due to expire on Monday. So we took that. And so we got in there. Probably should have went a little bit bigger, but because of the way the markets were, I went rather conservative. And that's how and I could go back to my trade plan back on that particular day when I took the trade, and I should have probably spelled it out, and we may jump back to that. And then Walmart, the Walmart shows that we did close the Walmart trade out shortly after that. After I wrote this here, because Walmart just was not responding. We had plenty of time on Walmart, but we were having consecutive closes below the 21, and it was approaching the 50, and so it was just kind of looking a little bearish at this particular point in time. So my goal is to keep my losses small and keep my winners much larger. I'm not married to any particular trade. And then at 3 p.m., the last hour of trading, the markets are still holding up. The ticks have been trading below zero since 2 p.m., hitting a negative 1800, but averaging about negative 250. The VIX is still around 1855, which is no fear when the ticks have dropped. So that's telling me that the markets were holding up. VIX was not popping with any kind of fear that this was just profit taking. There was no serious breakdown of the markets. And at this time, we're not looking to take a trade on a new position. I don't want a nay or nay. I don't know. Anyways, a new position as we have 2 days with a big move. The markets have been selling off in the last 30 to 15 minutes as we this is at a key that's supposed to be key. So we'll do a little corrected spelling here, at a key resistance level, which is the 21. Okay. And it looks like an area that could reject and move the gap lower tomorrow. Plus, being Friday, many traders may end today and start tomorrow taking profits that could start a sell-off. They're at 3:30, the last 30 minutes, VIX is still holding up and the ticks are just going back and forth. Ticks in the market have dropped to 5 to 10 points off the high day. And then the market close, there has been some steady selling with the ticks hitting the last 15 minutes. However, negative 1800, the VIX has only gone up to 1874, and now the ticks are plus 800 back and forth. This may look to be setting up for a move up, but I'm going to be cautious here, and let's see what the futures open at 8 p.m. Still thinking there will be more selling tomorrow. However, the buyers have been coming in today, so it's anyone's guess. And then Home Depot is a little disappointing and attempting to move, but then sells off. Must be some bag holders or heavy resistance. We need some energy to get those upper level, to get through those upper levels, and we have plenty of time on this. So we'll hope we'll stay up there. And then it says to see the charts of everything on the next page. And here's the P&L where we finished up, showing the 3 trades that we closed out. And then here's a screenshot. Here's a screenshot of the work of my trades page at the close. So it's showing where we finished up as a comparison. So that's how I set up and do my trade journal for the day. And I wanted to go over that a little bit more because this is how I handle my pre-market prep. So with that being said, let's go ahead and real quickly here, so we don't run this video too long, let's go ahead and jump into the VIX, and let's take a look at what the VIX is doing here. As we can see here, the VIX has moved up here just below the 20 line. It's flirting here. It came up to about the high of day on yesterday. So will we go higher? Not real sure. We have decreasing momentum on the VIX. And if we take a look at the intraday, where what it's been doing here so far, the first, here's our 4-hour chart, and we are coming into ready, aim, fire. So we've lost some momentum to the downside. So we could be at a level of exhaustion and begin to move up on our 4-hour. The 2-hour is already fired to the upside. The 30-minute has been going up for the last few hours, and we have another fire on our 15-minute. So all indications here say, unless something happens some buyers and we start buying up the market, or something happens to decrease the fear, it looks to me that indications might be that we're going to get a little bit of a pop in the VIX here this morning. And so that would cause our markets to probably move to the downside. Let's take a look at the Dow real quick. Again, the Dow is closed above the 21 on our weekly chart, and we are right at the 21 here on our daily, just below the daily 50. So this is gonna act as resistance. And so again, would like to see this be a little bit of an inside bar, maybe a baby bar, which might lead into a positive move into Monday. So if the range on today would stay, not a lot of selling, but just kind of have a nice tug of war here today, this would be pretty awesome setup. As you can see, we had decreasing volume on our last 2 days, but still very bullish candle. But right now we're not seeing the follow through. So, most likely the intraday will probably tell us the same story. Let's jump over to the Russell. The Russell is still consolidating at these tight levels. So we are up here. We are above the 21. The Russell being, showing, looking a little more bullish, but still, it's still in a level of consolidation. We are in a weekly consolidation. No signals telling us that this is going to, by no means, is going to fire to the upside. We have extremely strong bullish or bearish candles down here. So even though right now the bulls are in charge of the week, and we're getting a fire signal on the weekly chart just above the 0 line. The daily chart got a fire yesterday, but we are at this line of resistance with our trailing stops here. And so yeah, these are our SARs or whatever dots. So we're right up here against resistance, and we need to push that and create these and move these down here and make them green. And so that's what's going to be holding us back there today. Let's go over to the S&Ps. We already kind of took a look at the S&Ps, but still, the weekly chart is at the 1 ATR. We are just at the 21. So we are at a level of resistance here. And we, as you can see, we've got the candles indicating, the buying is subsided for right now. And so we are currently 20 points down. So we've gone down about another 8 points since we've been talking. So, so that's, we are right at the daily 50. And like I had indicated on the before, is the intraday charts are, and with the VIX, it is indicating that we're going to get a spike in the VIX, and then we're seeing that now. We are over the 20 line on the VIX, so we're at 20.04, and so and I also see that up here on my charts here too. So 20.04, and our ticks. The ticks were closed at 147. So they will, so we are getting some movement in the VIX up above the 20. So just do not want to see this candle erase all the gains from yesterday. That would just suck. And then lastly, we have the Qs, and the Qs still on the weekly chart looking very bullish. And, so recognizing on the long-term chart that the structure is still in place, as is just about all our indexes are bullish, and the structure is in place. And so, look at longer time frames on the daily chart. We are down 88 points. So, erasing again. Not able to sustain or get above the daily 21 is not necessarily a good thing. So, again, we are holding above the daily 50 on the Qs, but we'll see what the FANG stocks do if they don't get any steam today. I just think this is just some profit taking. That's I don't think it's necessarily a lot of fear that's going to come pumping into the market. We might see a little bit of spike in the VIX above the 20. Hopefully we don't get above 21. And if we go above 20 for a bit, we come back below it later in the day, would be a great sign to see buyers step in, and we'll have to see where the ticks open up at and how they close out the market. So, the first 30 minutes and the last 30 minutes of the market probably, are going to be the most important times, I think, today. And yes, I'll be at my computer all day, watching the markets, looking at my trade plan. Right now my trade plan, I'm going to wait the first couple hours here today. We'll probably look at a 0 DTE play on the SPX or the Russell, which I used the RUT. Those cash settle. We'll probably be looking at either some type of credit spread, either a put or call credit spread, or we'll turn around and maybe even contemplate maybe like an Iron Condor, something like that on those, once we kind of see a little bit of that flush out of the day. So with that being said, we're going to end the video right here. Make sure you click the like button, subscribe. Any questions on the journaling part of things like that, message me, put a message in the comment section. I'll get back to you. Other than that, have a great Friday. Happy trading to you. Be safe, and we'll talk to you on Monday.